versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer.
The light shall bring victory.
Definitely keep the Twilight Whelp, and I do want a dragon to activate it, but I think the Azure Drake just costs too much mana. I guess I'm just hoping I pick up another dragon. I would have rather had Azure Drake than the Bookworm, but I'm definitely glad that I picked up the Technician. Okay, grade 1 drops, he takes 2 damage. Rockbiter Weapon's a better 1 mana card than Twilight Whelp, so... Unfortunately, I have no follow-up. I'd be feeling pretty good about this game if I had a Wyrm Rest Agent this turn, but having nothing on turn 2 is definitely scary against a Shaman.
Did you bring some fish?
Okay, no high roll.
My work is paramount. Leave me alone.
3/5 lines up pretty well against his board, although the Taunt Totem is pretty annoying. Okay. It's a big board, but Holy Nova does clear 2 of the things. Can't play Holy Nova this turn, but eventually it'll clear 2 of them. And I think I probably just don't even play the Wyrm Rest Agent here, because if I do, it's just going to kill the 5/2, and then he's just going to develop more board. I play Azure Drake into more board, and his board can just trade into the Azure Drake. I think I'm just going to pass and commit to playing the Holy Nova next turn. This isn't a great Holy Nova, but it does kill off most of his stuff. But 2 of the things I killed were just totems, but totems are pretty strong when there's a Flame Tongue on the board. This turn I probably Bookworm the Flame Tongue totem. So the question is, would I rather play Bookworm or Blackwing Corruptor here? It seems that he's more of a mid-range shaman rather than aggro. So the Bookworm can kill Thunderbluff Valiant, which makes me want to hold the Bookworm. But mana efficiency, of course, makes me want to play the Bookworm because, you know, costs 6 mana, it's turn 6. But I think the potential of killing a Thunderbluff Valiant is just too good. And I have a turn 7 play anyway with Azure Drake Wyrm Rest Agent. I think I'm fairly happy to see a Hex on that guy. I have Ysera in hand, I can still draw into Sylvanas and Shilmaw. But this turn I think is just going to be Azure Drake Wyrm Rest Agent. Unless I draw into something better. Unfortunately, if he rolls spell damage, he can kill my Wyrm Rest Agent pretty easily. But at least it does protect my Azure Drake. A lot of stats. He put the damage on his Runic Egg because he wants to kill it, I guess. Pretty reasonable. He wants to draw a card. I think I probably will just blow it up with Bookworm here, though. And then I guess this turn I do want to play Power Word Shield on the Azure Drake, because he's going to have spell damage at the end of the turn, unless I, like, Bookworm spell damage instead of the 3/3. But he's going to have spell damage at the end of the turn, so Weapon plus Searing Totem can kill the Azure Drake. I think I do want to play Power Word Shield on the Azure Drake to get it at a range of 4 damage. Holy Nova does 3 AoE here. I don't think that really changes anything. I think the Holy Nova is actually just bad here. And I'm going to hold the Northshire Cleric because it just dies for free to his weapon. Probably want to play it when I can draw cards, which might be next turn with Holy Nova. Or if he has a weak turn, I can just drop Ysera.
Did you bring some fish?
The opponent's 2 for 2 on fair Tuskar Totemics. That's gotta feel bad when you're playing that deck. I can just play Ysera here, but he has one card left in hand. I feel like if I just nuke his board right now, it kind of seals the game for me. And as things are, he could top deck like a Bloodlust or something if I choose to just drop the 9-drop here. I think I'm just going to blow up his board with Holy Nova. Paired with that, I guess I play another Spite Historian and heal. So let's start with another Spite Historian. I don't think anything can really change my play, but draw the card first. Definitely want that Alexstrasza, just in case he happens to get me low. But I'm at 20, he has no cards. Seems like it's going to be hard for him to win this. Especially since I have 2 hard removal spells in my hand in case something bad happens. I could even play Alexstrasza aggressively here if I wanted to. Could set him to 11, he's played both hexes. How does he clear? But I think it's better to just win the game with Ysera this turn. Like, how does he deal with the Ysera? Impossible. I guess with the line of play that I just took, second Manatide Totem is pretty good for him since he's out of cards. I guess it's slow though. He would have rather just drawn the card immediately. But with the line of play I took, Totem Golem could kill another Spite Historian for free and then heal up off the Healing Totem. But I also just have a Ysera in play. Probably just clear off his non-totems here. Actually, I think I might Dream Thalnos, because I can play Priest of the Feast and then Dream to heal up, and then heal with my hero power. Just to like completely lock out the possibility of him having like Doomhammer, Rockbiter, Lava Burst or something. Like, that deck might not even play those cards, but I like can't lose if I just make a really defensive play. And if I Dream the Thalnos, it denies him a card next turn since he won't be able to cycle it. Maybe I don't need to use Dream and my hero power, so maybe I just play Sylvanas this turn.
I shall bring you. I have no time for games.
That's incredible.
I think this puts enough stuff on my board that Alexstrasza is lethal if he doesn't clear anything. And with the Nightmare it should be pretty easy. I hope this is lethal.
Let none survive.
Yeah, that's like way lethal.
Anduin versus Jaina.
You asked for it.
The light shall bring victory.
I definitely don't keep Ysera, but I do keep these other 3 cards. Obviously 1-drop on 1, really solid 3-drop, might even coin it out. And then I need a dragon for these 2, and Twilight Guardian is the cheapest dragon that I play. And it's a pretty natural curve after the Blackwing Technician, so really good hand. I wonder if I should coin out the Northshire Cleric here. I'm definitely playing the Twilight Whelp. The reason to play the Coin Cleric here is so that if he has Frostbolt or some other form of removal for the Twilight Whelp, I can still kill the book. And he might even have to use the removal of Northshire Cleric instead of the Whelp, since Northshire Cleric draws cards. I think I like playing both of them here. The problem... Wow, it was really hard to grab that Cleric. The problem with my curve right now is I have no 2-drop. And...
Greetings.
like, if I just played the Whelp and he Frostbolted it, then I'd have no 2-mana play. But with this route, I can use hero power effectively on 2. Draw a card. The Nether Spite Historian does change things, though. It's not particularly good here, but it does give me a dragon in my hand so that my Twilight Guardian will be active on turn 4, and I won't feel like I need to hold the Twilight Guardian to activate Blackwing Corruptor on the following turn. So I think I do want to play Nether Spite Historian, although if I just draw a card off Northshire Cleric, That gives me, what, 3 draws to draw into a dragon? And I still have a lot of dragons in my deck. So maybe it's better to be a little bit more passive and just draw with the cleric here. Because, like, Nether Spite Historian guarantees me a dragon, but it seems really unlikely that I don't draw a dragon in the next 3 cards. So I guess I will just draw with Northshire here. And then obviously just trade off the 2-3 into the 3-2. Playing secrets, huh? So the most likely secret for this to be, since he just played it on turn 3, is Mirror Entity. And I don't really want to give him a 3-5. But I also don't really want to play off curve and just play a 1-3 here. But I guess my hand, I have a lot of stuff for the next few turns. So if I just have a weak turn here, I think it's pretty easy for me to recover. But if I just give him a 3-5, and then he does Tempo Mage things with removal spells, it might be kind of bad for me. But if I play the Nether Spite Historian and it's not Mirror Entity, I look pretty dumb. I just don't think it really makes that much sense for it to be anything other than the Mirror Entity. He's shown Occult Sorcerer, so he's not Freeze Mage. It's not going to be Ice Barrier or Ice Block. So I guess I'm just playing Nether Spite Historian here. Take the Twilight Drake. Turned out it wasn't Mirror Entity. I guess I should have attacked with Northshire Cleric first to check for Ice Barrier or Vaporize. Probably wasn't very smart of me. So I know it's not Ice Barrier, Vaporize, or Mirror Entity. So it's Effigy, Ice Block, Spellbender, or Counterspell. Well, if it's Effigy, I don't want to try to kill the Water Elemental anytime soon. Although I might just have to kill it with Blackwing Corruptor next turn.
Someday I'll be just like you.
Before he played the Water Elemental, there was some debate as to whether I would play Twilight Drake or Twilight Guardian there. But since he played a 3-6 into my 1-3s, I just wanted to taunt. But it looks like he got through anyway, which is kind of a bummer for me. I think the plays here are Blackwing Technician, Shadowward Pain, or just Blackwing Corruptor. Blackwing Corruptor is better against Effigy, it's better against Counterspell and Spellbender. I guess it's just better, right?
Hello.
If that's Ice Block, I would rather play Blackwing Technician. And I do think Ice Block is the most likely one. But I guess Blackwing Corruptor costs 5 mana, so maybe I just want to play it on 5. Okay, turns out it was Effigy. Pretty nice high roll. If I had Shadowward Pained the Water Elemental, and he got a 4-drop instead of a 2-drop, I think on average it would have been worse than Millhouse. So he drew last there, but that was actually the correct order, because he wanted to get the 2 damage out of Flamewaker, but he also wanted to not waste the 2 damage on my minions. So he had to clear the minions first so the damage wasn't wasted, and then he had to play Flamewaker first so he could actually get the damage out of Arcane Intellect. So the plays here are Bookworm or Twilight Drake Shadowward Pain. Twilight Drake will have 7 health, so he's slightly bigger than a Bookworm. But that play does cost me 2 cards, and the 2 cards I give up cost less mana obviously, so they're a little bit more flexible. I think I like just playing a Bookworm here. It costs 6 mana, sometimes it's hard to find a target, so I probably just play it. Question is, what do I actually kill? Water Elemental's annoying and it has 1 more attack, but I think the effect on the Flamemaker is just too strong.
Someday I'll be just like you.
That was his second Fireball, and he floated 2 mana that turn basically, so I think I'm pretty happy with how that went. He's down 2 Fireballs like I said, so I'm not super concerned about just dying here. I could make a pretty greedy play, go like Brand Twilight Drake. Be a big Twilight Drake. 13 health I think. Be pretty much impossible for him to kill, but I also have to play the Brand with that, and the Brand isn't super good here. Maybe I just play second Bookworm and kill the Water Elemental off. Even if I play the huge Azure Drake, it's probably running into the Water Elemental anyway, and then it's still just going to be locked down for a turn. I don't like squelching people, but he's emoted a lot this game. I think I just like playing the Bookworm here. And I'm going to hold the Northshire Cleric because Sorcerer's Apprentice deals with it so easily. But yeah, the Bookworm here is kind of the same reasoning as last turn. It finds a target, which is sometimes hard to do. It costs a lot of mana, so it's nice to get it out of the hand. And after killing the Water Elemental, it contests the Sorcerer's Apprentice pretty well. I don't have any way to kill the Azure Drake, which is a bit unfortunate. So maybe this is the turn where I go Bran, Twilight Drake, get a huge minion. I can also go like Bran, Technician, Hero Power. Could heal my dude up to 5 health so that the Azure Drake doesn't kill it directly, but I think he'd be killing Bran in that scenario anyway. Could draw 2 cards off my own Azure Drake, but what am I really trying to draw into? Nothing specific, really. Even though it's a little off curve, I kind of like making a huge Twilight Drake here, I think.
Barbaric.
411 is pretty strong. He's already played 2 fireballs. I don't think this Twilight Drake is dying this game. The only issue is whether or not he can kill me before Twilight Drake gets a ton of value. Oh, yeah, that 1 mana card does 6 damage. Maybe it does die this game. Turns out it only cost him 3 mana to do it. I can heal up my Bookworm to a 3/5, but then it still just dies to hero power after I run it into the Azure Drake. But it does force 2 mana out of him. Maybe there's some value in that. So I guess if I healed it up, I'd have 7 mana. I'd probably want to play Northshire Cleric without the draw card. I could do Northshire, Heal, and Sylvanas. The best way for him to kill Sylvanas is send an Azure Drake and hero power it. Would mean he would have to leave up the 3/1 Bookworm. Let's try drawing a card and see what happens. Twilight Guardian.
Barbaric.
No time for
I
games.
think I like playing Sylvanas here. I'm worried about him just hitting me in the face, and Sylvanas makes it kinda hard for him to just send Azure Drake to face here. He can hero power down the Bookworm, send Azure Drake into the Northshire Cleric. I don't know, maybe this play's a little sketchy. Am I actually dead here? I probably do want to heal as much as I can here since he made that play, which probably involves Priest of the Feast Powerword Shield. So I guess I'll start with that.
Blessed be this funnel cake.
Holy Nova. Holy Nova doesn't really do much here, I don't think. I mean, it heals me for 5. Maybe that's relevant.
Move quickly.
Let none survive.
I think I just throw down the taunt and hope he can't kill me. I've seen 2 fireballs and a frostbolt. Seems really hard for him to be able to deal 12 damage through this taunt. Okay, hopefully I steal Halazil. But even the 0-2 taunt's not awful. The first play I see that I like is Azure Drake Holy Nova. Clears his board, heals me for 5, gets my Priest of the Feast back to 6. The only other way for me to kill Halazil, unless I draw into something with Azure Drake, the only other way for me to kill it is to Shadow Word Pain a 0-2 taunt, which feels pretty bad. And since he's so low on cards, I don't mind spending a Holy Nova like this. It's not like he's Zoo where he's gonna like tap next turn and then play 4 minions. That's just not something that Tempo Mage is gonna do. So even though it kind of looks bad to Holy Nova just these 2 things, I think that's actually the best Holy Nova I'm gonna get this game. I think there's some chance that I Shadow Word Pain my own mirror image in the coming turns just so I can get the heal out of Priest of the Feast. But I actually don't think he has enough burn in this deck to just hit me in the face at this point. He would need Kabbalah's Tome into something. And it looks like I'm playing Shadow Word Pain on that Water Elemental. But yeah, he's played, what, 2 Fireballs, 2 Frostbolts, Firelands Portal. There's no way he actually has enough burn to kill me, I don't think. I could even play Ysera here. I guess if I'm not playing Ysera, Shadow Word Pain and then flood the board, I guess I could lose to another Flame Strike. And it's not like the Water Elemental's getting anything done this turn anyway. So I may as well just let the taunt eat the hit. If I play the Twilight Whelp here, I'm out of dragons. And I don't think a 2-3 on board is worth as much as having a dragon in my hand for these 2 cards. So just drop Ysera, hit him in the face for 3. Seems pretty hard to lose from this point, but you know, Yogg-Saron is a card. Kabbalah's Tome could get him back into the game. If he plays like Kabbalah's Tome and the Polymorph here, he might be fine. Okay, I think from this point I actually can't lose anymore. I just clear his board, play out some dudes, maybe Sarah on board, so even if I flood the board with small stuff, a Flame Strike isn't good enough. I'm gonna be out of range of any damage he can piece together. So I think this game is pretty much over. It doesn't really matter at this point, but I played the guy that needs a dragon before the dragon. Even though I have another dragon, doing it in this order doesn't give him any information. The only card I lose to at this point is Yogg, I think. Even the sickest of Kabbalah's Tomes I don't think would be good enough at this point, but maybe it would. Guy was spamming emotes all game, so I have to imagine that he's the kind of player that just shut off his game without bothering to concede, just to waste 70 seconds of my time. Just waste 70 seconds and then press concede. Pretty good way to play the game.